Rob Zombie's Halloween. 2009 Friday the 13th. 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street.
The classic horror villains of our time, well, of the 80s, 70s, and 90s, they are classics. Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Michael frickin' Myers. We all like them, we all know that they're great. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I not comparing the originals and why am I comparing their remakes? Well, people tend to compare their originals pretty often, and usually when people rank these franchises, they'll put them at like Friday the 13th last, Halloween second, and Nightmare first. Or is it like, I don't know. I don't know whether people prefer Friday or Halloween. I mean, I prefer Friday because Halloween, I think a pretty good amount of those movies were bad. Well, most Friday the 13th movies were enjoyable. Now, look, people tend to compare these original movies, but the reason why I'm not doing this is because the verdict is like, first off, this is an obvious comparison, and I don't, sometimes I like to be more outside of the box and not very obvious rank comparisons. And also, the movie, I mean, like, we all know what the ranking would be. We all know what the ranking would be. Friday the 13th last, because that's not a very good movie. Nightmare on Elm Street second, and then Halloween first. That's literally the most obvious verdict of all time. Like, it's not even a question what the verdict would be. So, I'm comparing the remakes, because in my opinion, they're all kind of similar when it comes to their quality. They're all not the strongest movies of the franchises, whether they are not as good as the originals, or there were other movies in their respective franchises that were better than the remake. And yeah, so we're gonna be comparing, and they all came out about the same time. With Halloween, the Halloween remake we're looking at is Rob Zombie's Halloween. We're looking at the Friday the 13th, which was just called Friday the 13th, and then the Nightmare on Elm Street. So the Rob Zombie's Halloween was made in 2007. Fun fact: the year I was born. The Friday the 13th came out in 2009, and the Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 2010. So a 3-year span of those three movies. Now, quickly want to say I'm not including Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Why? I haven't seen it. I don't, and what I've heard from it, it's not like I'm too young. I could probably see it, but I've just heard real bad things about it. And it's a sequel. I want to watch remakes, and this isn't like, Cat, what are you doing? Come on, kitty. And it's not like a remake of Halloween 2. It's not like a remake of the original sequel. No, it's a full-on sequel. So like, it's a sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween. Like, it's its own movie. So it's not a remake, and I'm only counting remakes. So I'm just deciding, you know what, I'm not including that. If you want to include that, go ahead, do it for your list, because I'm not. And the reason why I didn't include any other remakes is because none others really came around at the time. So, and if they did, these are the three big franchises. So we have one from 2007, 9, and 10. So we're only missing 2008. Now, we'll be splitting these movies by 5 categories. These are the main categories: the story, the characters, not including killers, the kills them. I'm sorry, people are up there watching wrestling. So yeah, the third one was the kills. The fourth would be, I keep on forgetting what this is gonna be. Oh yeah, how they are as remakes, and 5 is going to be the killers themselves. So let's start off with the story. Right off the bat, this story is a lot different than the original, as it feels like this movie is in a way a dark comedy, and it kind of feels like Rob Zombie just making, like, the movie feels like a Rob Zombie version of the original, but we'll get onto that later when we compare how they are as remakes. Now, the movie's story is considerably different. the last half of the movie is like is like 70%, 75% of the first movie. Like, what I'm saying is, like, 50% of this movie is, like, 80% of the first movie. Probably more. Like, in the original, this... I know... Just... Really quick, actually, before, I'm not in that section yet, so I'm gonna just talk about, its story. Basically, it starts off with Michael Myers as a young boy, played by, fun fact, the kid who played the French bully from Hancock, and this movie came out literally the year before, so that makes sense. And he's part of a dysfunctioning family with two really bad parents, which we'll get onto that in the character section. He gets bullied at school, and his teachers find out he has not only a dead cat in his backpack, but images of a lot of other dead animals. Hell, there's even a part at the beginning where he killed his rat. So this movie is already explaining his motives, or showing him like that he's not that he's pretty crazy now, which will come on forward. Okay, you know what? This is gonna hurt the remake part, but I'm just so yeah. It's yeah. And then he does something completely creepy. So that on Halloween night, he freaking bounds his dad to the couch and freaking slits his throat. He just takes a bat, bats. Not Lori. I keep on forgetting the girl's name. Okay, I forgot. It's the sister at the beginning who gets killed in the original. I keep on forgetting her name. Judith Myers. And then so yeah, he bats Judith's boyfriend with a bat. Just full on goes ham on it, like just And then he goes up to his sister's room, puts the mask on, and rubs her, and then she slaps him. Okay, and then he kills her, and then the Halloween music plays. It's already something weird. She starts walking. He doesn't stab her a few times and then she dies. No, he stabs her once. She tries to walk away after feeling betrayed, I guess, and then he kills. Well, then the mom comes home to find her child dead, and Michael's sent to a psychiatric hospital or something like that, or sent to Dr. Loomis to be testified on, and then he does it for a few weeks, yada yada yada, but then one day, one day when Loomis and him are there, Loomis walks Michael's mom to go to her car, leaves Michael with a lunch lady, and then Michael takes a fork, stabs the lunch lady in the neck, and at that moment the mom gets scared, and then at that moment the mom realizes that her son is crazy, and she shoots herself right in front of Lori. Yes, Lori is a baby at this time. All right, I just want to say real quick, like, before I continue, like, this part doesn't make any sense. It's half an hour of the movie, and with story-wise, we're also going to be explaining how enjoyable these movies are. So the first section is basically, in a way, the main section. So it's like the story-wise, we're talking how good the movie is story-wise, and also how enjoyable it is. And so far, it's not very enjoyable, especially watching this mom just breaking down, finding out her son is a murderer, and shooting herself. Like, what the fuck is going on? And this is the first half hour, alright? In the original, we'd be pretty far in. Anyway. So yeah. And then it cuts to Michael, and then Michael's in the hospital. He escapes. kills someone to get a suit, a different suit on. Then he goes to a store, steals a mask. No, actually, he goes to his old house, and he gets the mask because he actually got the mask from Judith's boyfriend, because Judith's boyfriend had the mask, you know, just there, and then Michael put it on. He used it to kill Judith, and it's all weird. And then he goes back to the house, takes the mask again, puts it back on, and then we see the classic Michael. And then you see three ditzy friends, Lori's other two friends, which I'll get more into that in the character section. Now, this is where the film becomes the movie becomes a little more enjoyable. Watching these characters interact and hang out is pretty fun. Watching Michael Myers just walking around is actually pretty entertaining, if you ask me. The kids just annoy the hell out of each other. And also, there's some, there is one joke that made me laugh in this movie. It's when, Lori and, the two kids are there, right? The boy and, that girl from the original, the two young ones. There's, well, I think the little boy was, pretty similar to his original counterpart, but the little girl, not similar not very similar at all, to say the least. Now, Lori, of course they were talking about the boogeyman earlier when the two kids are like, and then two kids talking about the boogeyman. Lori's like, can we stop talking about the boogeyman? And then one of the kids, the girl's like, is she afraid of the boogeyman? And then Lori's like, no.
Enough about the boogeyman. It's nonsense.
I'm Tommy on this one.
Yeah. Why do you keep avoiding the subject, Lori?
Is she scared?
Maybe she is.
Okay, stop. Leave me alone for 5 seconds, please.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, please don't.
What?
No! I'm gonna tell your parents!
Oh, it's hilarious. I don't know why. It's funnier. Let me tell you, it's funnier than any jokes in any of the jokes in any of these movies. There is one in Friday the 13th that kind of comes close, which I don't remember what joke it was, but yeah, that's why this one's better. And remember, I watched this movie, Rob Zombie's Halloween, yesterday. I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street remake and the Friday the 13th remake today. Well, I watched the Friday one first and then Nightmare, but if I can remember a joke from yesterday and don't remember a joke from today, then that's saying something. Now, now the rest of the movie kind of just plays off like the original. Michael comes, attacks Lori goes over to the house, discovers the bodies are dead. Well, this time she calls the cops. She goes over back to the house. Michael Myers comes, he attacks, the kids come. I think he kills a cop somewhere in all this. Wait, does he? No, I don't think he does, actually. No, he doesn't. Ow! Sorry, my hair just... I don't know, actually. Anyway, the cop comes, the kids are there, they're all... Well, they hide, like the original. Though this time something different happens. Unlike in the original, where, the kids are running... Lori sends the kids out of the house and they start screaming because she supposedly killed Michael. And then Loomis sees the kids running out of the house screaming. He goes in there because he's... This one's different. Instead, Michael kidnaps Lori, which for some reason the kids don't do anything, which I guess makes sense. They're kids. They can't do much, so all they can really do is tell an adult, which they did. So they run out. Loomis asks them what's wrong, and they tell him that Michael took away their friend, took away Judith. Wait, Judith! Ugh! Took away Lori! I swear to God. I'm sorry, it's just I don't do names in movies. Then why am I getting so deep into this story? So I apologize. I've been talking. You know what? I'm not gonna do this with Friday or Nightmare. All right. I'm not gonna do this with either of those. Okay. I'm gonna try and be a little more quick because I just realized I've been talking for 10 minutes about this. So then he goes. Lori realizes that Michael's her brother, I think, because he shows her a picture of them as children, and then he takes his mask off, which is oddly weird. I mean, he didn't try to kidnap her in the original. He was full on trying to kill her there. I don't know. And then when he realizes that she wants nothing to do with him, he just full on tries to kill her. He shoves his thumbs into Loomis's eyes because Loomis comes up. Well, no. That's not how it went. It went more like after Lori escapes, she runs into a pool. Michael tries to follow her. Then Loomis shoots him multiple times. When he finally falls, they go into a car. Judy asks the question that was asked in the original. Was that the boogeyman? And then Loomis answers as a matter. Well, he didn't say like as a matter of fact. It was. He answered more like as a matter of fact. I believe it was. Which come on, gotta be more like the original. But then the ending is different. Michael comes, grabs the girl, Lori, pulls her out, and then Loomis tells him that it wasn't her fault, that it was all his fault. So then Michael comes and then shoves his thumbs into Loomis's eyes, which doesn't kill him because apparently he reappears in the sequel. I think? I don't know. I haven't seen. He might have died. I don't know. But either way, and then Lori, and then Michael. Eventually, Michael tackles Lori. They fall from the second floor of a roof. Lori gets the gun out and shoots him point blank in the face. Now, what's weird is, and I'm gonna say something that's kind of weird in the sequel. I haven't seen it, but I know that in the end, Lori stabs Michael in the face, which kills him. Like it literally kills him, which doesn't make any sense. If you can survive getting shot point blank in the face, and when you say point blank, like point blank means like you're shot either just right up to your face or really close to your face. If you could take point blank in the face by a shot, I'm pretty sure if you can take that, you can take getting stabbed. Either way, yeah. So the movie's story isn't great, but I would say that it is enjoyable throughout. Well, not the first 30 minutes. The first half hour is just easily the weakest part of the whole movie. Once that's over, then it becomes pretty enjoyable, and I do think the movie's pretty underrated. Hey, I'm pretty sure we're all gonna be able to agree that it's better than what I'm assuming is a horrendous sequel. Anyway, yeah, that was Rob Zombie's Halloween. Its story and how enjoyable it was, and it was, and in the story ways maybe not, but it was pretty enjoyable throughout. Okay, I've been talking for 13 minutes. Let's move on to Friday the 13th, or the 2009 Friday the 13th story. Unlike Halloween, where it's basically the same story, but it's just different tone, different themes, and different an extra 30 minutes at the beginning. This is actually pretty much completely its own story. Like the only thing from the original is where what's the woman's name? Oh no, how can I not remember? But Pamela Voorhees gets her head cut off by the girl. So basically, we have the ending of the original. So this isn't really a remake. I know I'm saying remake, but it's more of a reboot, and it kind of follows the first movie with the head slice, the second movie, and then the third movie, which I'll explain how it does those two in a minute. But so yeah, the story. Now I don't want to go too far. Basically, and this movie, I just want to say, has the longest pre-title sequence in movie history. Like not just horror movie history. No, movie history. It's 20. I'm not no joke. It's 20 minutes. That's like. Sorry, that's like. It's like a fifth, maybe even a quarter of the movie, all in the pre-title sequence. And the pre-title sequence is like the sequence before they show the title card of the movie. So yeah, but anyway, now moving on to the movie. So the pre-title sequence shows some campers going out. looking for weed because they want to get rich with weed. I don't know weed can make you that rich in 2009, but it can. So then so the weed, so they go look for the, they go get the, they go looking for the, they're going looking for the weed, and they're in the middle of the woods. Now, while they're in the middle of the woods, they go camping because they found out the GPS was wrong. Eventually, they do find weed, but unfortunately, Jason Voorhees fucks them up. So you have like a boy, a girl. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So 3 boys and 2 girls. Now, now the kills go on like so. Basically, someone finds weed, gets killed by Jason. Someone else follows him. Someone else goes out looking for him. Right when they're done having sex with the girl. Now the girl gets found by Jason Voorhees, and Jason takes her, shoves her into a bag, a sleeping bag, and then we see what happens now. When the guy realizes that his friend is killed, so then when he runs back to the camp, he sees that his girlfriend, the girl he just had sex with, was hanging from the tree in her sleeping bag over the fire. But best kill in the whole movie, swear to God. But we're not talking about kills, but it's actually pretty creepy. Even though I do think that they could have the shots in the sleeping bag showing her face could have done a little bit better, and then the guy gets bear trapped. Now the other 2, a girl and her boyfriend left out. They went to a house, which I think Jason used to live in, and eventually, while they're there, Jason starts stabbing up, and then he does it for so long that eventually he gets the girl's boyfriend. She runs away, and then when she gets to the camp, she discovers they're all gone. You know, well, the kid at the bear trap's still alive, but he gets killed by Jason right then and there. And then Jason, now you'd think he kills the girl because he swings his machete at her, but he doesn't. And I swear to God, if I don't put a spoiler warning. What am I kidding you? If you see a review or even a comparison, you know there's going to be spoilers. So, freaking shoves a machete. So he looks like he shoved a machete in her head, but he didn't, because we see she's alive. Now, the reason why is because a guy earlier said how she looks like the lady in a key locket she has. And when Jason sees this, the lady is his mom, which he thinks this teenage girl is his mom. It's so weird, it's so weird. So then the pre-title, then we realized that's a whole pre-title sequence, and I was like, I remember when I first saw this movie, I was like, that long of that whole segment was a pre-title sequence? Damn, this is like, if in normal ratio movie-wise, if you include ratio-wise, and that wasn't like a huge percent of the movie, and that was like normal percent, the movie would have been like 4 hours long. I'm not joking. It would have been that long if the pre-title sequence was that long. But thankfully, it's not like it is. But it isn't. So then we cut to a guy going around with missing posters looking for his sister. Because his sister is the girl who got kidnapped by Jason. And then shows these other group of kids. Now, then the guy. He's fun fact. He's played by his name is Clay. He's played by. What's that? I don't know the guy's name, but he's played by. You might know him as Sam from Supernatural, the show. Anyway. So the guy's just not there for trouble. He's just looking for his sister. And then he hears about some guy who likes to be left alone in the place. Anyway, so he goes around looking, asking people for if they've seen his girlfriend around. No, his sister. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm kind of forgetting. Not like I'm an idiot. Sometimes my mind idiots around and mixes things up. Anyway, Clay then goes to we're introduced to some teens who are all, let's just say they're obnoxious. All right, they do all kinds of weird things. Group of teens, one Asian, one black guy, one American kid, and two girls, no, three girls, and another white guy. So yeah, a group of kids who are out there to hang out for the weekend. Clay gets to those kids' house. A girl invites him in for I don't know why, but...
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for my sister.
Hey. No luck?
No, not yet.
Do you want to come in for a second, grab a drink?
Yeah, I don't think your boyfriend would like that too much.
Don't worry about it. He'll be fine.
And then goes out walking with the guy. It's like...
So, where are you off to next?
Well, I haven't been to the other side of the lake yet, so I was probably gonna go check that out, you know?
Do you want some company?
Love some company.
So, a few people left. There's some people at the place. They're doing wacky shoot. Well, the other two people who left, your boyfriend, girlfriend, were out skiing, or not water. They like doing water skiing where someone holds something and they start surfing while someone pulls them on a boat. They both get killed by Jason. One gets shot by an arrow, and the other, she hides underneath a wooden dock, but she gets killed when Jason just literally takes a machete and shoves it down. Like, he shoves it downwards into the dock and somehow hits her. Maybe he looked down and saw her, so kind of the opposite way he killed someone from earlier when he was shoving upwards and somebody shoved him downwards. So yeah, now Clay and his new girlfriend who left, when they got to camp, they went to Camp Crystal Lake, saw stuff. Jason took Clay's bag because he left it, and they were hiding from Jason because they saw that he had a body. And anyway, so then when they get back, oh yeah, two people. There was a bully and a girl who just had sex for no reason. And in a longer version of the movie, Clay's sister escapes and she asks for help, but those two were having sex at that moment, and so Jason kidnapped her again. In the version I watched today, that part was just completely cut out, but what the hell was that? So I'm trying to think, like, what happened? Clay, no, not Clay. Yes, Clay. I mean, they're all at the house. The bully Kai gets mad because he saw that Clay was out with a girl, but when they tell them that some creepy guy's around, the Asian guy who's in a shed because he broke something, gets killed by Jason. Also, I just want to mention earlier that Jason was wearing a bag throughout the whole pre-title sequence and throughout some of the main story. He gets his mask at a barn where some guy's selling weed. He just sees the hockey mask and decides that that's a better option to wear than the mask, than the than the potato sack. Honestly, I don't know about y'all, but in some ways the potato sack is kind of creepier than the bandages wrapped all around his head kind of creep me out a little more than the mask. When he's running, mostly. If he's staring at you, then I think the mask is creepier than, but anyway, the guy, I'm talking for 10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I keep on, the story just, I want to recap as much as I can about these movies when I really shouldn't be, but yeah. Jason comes, he breaks through. I don't remember what the joke was. Anyway, the police arrive, but unfortunately he gets killed right then and there, so it doesn't even matter. And then some girl gets killed, and then the girl who was having sex with the bully earlier, she gets killed. And then the black guy goes out looking for the Asian dude. Then he gets killed by Jason literally throwing an axe, getting the dude, and then just full on stabbing him with it and pulling it out. Then they all leave. Some guy goes running. And the bully, it's not like the bully got any special treatment, which I guess he didn't really deserve, but anyway, they go out and when they leave, and then Clay and his girlfriend left. Then they find Clay's sister, so they got Clay's sister, and then they escape, and then they leave the place Clay's sister was locked in at. But right as they're escaping, Clay's girlfriend gets murdered by Jason, just like she literally just gets stabbed from behind the neck, and you can see it going out her front. So she was the last survivor of those obnoxious teenagers, but didn't survive long. And then Clay and his sister escape into the barn, and they shred Jason, and then they get into a fight, and then they shred Jason's head. Like, they stab him with his machete, and they shred his head, mostly. And then they drop him into the water, drop his mask, and then Jason comes out, and then grabs Clay's sister, and I presumably she probably dies. I mean, those are usually just hallucinations, like, literally, the first 3 movies that happened, and they were all hallucinations, but, I don't know, but it's not like a hallucination here. All they show is Jason coming out of the dock, he grabs the girl, and then the movie just ends. They don't even show him pulling her in there, so you don't know if she dies or not. But I'm gonna say she dies just because all the movies have had a final girl, so maybe she's just the final girl who died. I don't know. Who knows? But for the most part, I actually found the movie enjoyable. You know, watching Jason kill the teens, watching the teens' interactions were actually pretty nice. Although I'm 14, so I did have to look away whenever there was nudity. But besides that, it was pretty good. It was pretty enjoyable. The story itself isn't like amazing, as it is pretty I mean, it does do some things that the first movies didn't do, or any movie before it didn't do. So, of the Fridays. So yeah, it's a pretty good story. It's pretty enjoyable. So let's move on to Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Boy, have I got some things to say about this one. The Nightmare on Elm Street one. This is... You know what? I don't want to just cut to the chase. So, it's very similar to the first movie, but a little differences. So, this guy... It starts off with this guy at a diner. He's saying he was fall asleep, and then Freddy's there, and then Nancy, working there, wakes him up. Already you can tell Nancy's not like her from the original. Not talking about the original yet. So the guy wakes up, and then his friend comes over, and she asks him why he hasn't slept in over 3 days. And he says it's because, you know, he's been having dreams, and the girl tells him that they're just dreams. And there was a group of kids over on the other end. Well, there was a group of kids on the other side of the place. Anyway, okay. Now Freddy kills the guy. Freddy does it really smooth. Like, he makes it look like the guy was committing suicide. He was like, the guy's like, no, you're not real. And then Freddy starts talking, and you can see his face. Now, I'm just gonna say it really quickly. As soon as you see this guy, like, as soon as you see Freddy, it's not, you know it's not the original. Only an idiot would think it's the original. Anyway, I mean, not like he's completely not like Freddy. I'll get into that when we get to the killer section. But I got a lot to talk about with this Freddy. Now, from here on out, it's very similar. Blonde chick with her boyfriend sleeping. Well, she goes around, does some shoot, researches about Freddy Krueger. But this is very disorienting because the thing is about the story is that in the original, the character, like, she was introduced for a while, but then she was killed off. In this movie, though, she's not killed off till pretty late. But she is eventually killed off. Well, I cannot remember anything in between when she died and when that guy at the diner died. And that's like 20 minutes that I can't remember. So yeah, she dies in a pretty similar way. Freddy grabs her and then swings her around. Well, like, just swings her all around the room, cuts her the middle of her open, just like in the original, and then drops her on the bed, and then boom. Something else. In the scene, remember the original where Freddy's coming out of, like, the wall, and you can see, like, just coming in closer and closer, but then Nancy wakes up, and then he goes back? Yeah, this one just completely just freaking, you know what? You know what it did? Look. This is the original, you know, cool. It's nice, heavy. It's pretty good. The new movie, just take an axe and then break it all in half because they completely just. The problem is they use CG. They use the 3D effects, to do the shot. It doesn't look good because. The original did it practical. Someone was actually pushing against a wall thing, which made it look more real. The effects here were first off, they weren't like someone pushing against a wall. Freddy's just full on. You can see his face mold coming at Nancy until she wakes up. And it looks terrible. Like, this movie came out after Avatar. It looks so much worse than Avatar. I swear to God. And this was 2010. This was at a time when CG was pretty good, so. It was just, nope. Now, if we, the Nightmare on Elm Street, but then after that death, after the girl dies, oh God, I still can't remember. The guy realized she died. He leaves her house, but he sets off an alarm. Someone sees him, calls the cops, and then he goes to Nancy's house and tells her all about stuff. And then the cops get him, and then they just charge him with murder, just right then and there. They're like, oh yeah, you totally killed the girl. And then he goes to jail. Then he gets killed by Freddy, because just like in the original. Though this time, instead of a rug coming around, just going around him and then hanging him, this time Freddy just freaking, shoves his hand right through the guy's chest. Nancy and her boyfriend, I can't remember his name, are the only two left. Now, they draw, holy shit, I can't remember. I cannot remember a whole ton. They find out that they went to preschool with Freddy, but he did some real nasty things to them, so they burnt him alive. At first, when they portrayed him as innocent, I was pissed. Now, thankfully, he wasn't in the movie. He was actually guilty with stuff. But I swear to God, if they made him just dared to make Freddy Krueger innocent, the whole point of the story was the guy was literally a killer. So, a killer alive and a killer dead. Now, here's the thing. This is so much. I forgot about the story. So they find out about Fred Krueger. He did some bad things to them when they were in preschool, and so yeah. So then they go to So then the girl looks up all the kids that were in the photo of them at preschool. They all got killed. They all got killed by Freddy. So yeah, she and that guy were the only two that were left. The guy was having a dream about Freddy. Literally, his dream was what was happening with Freddy getting killed at that place. And he was having it while he was swimming, so I don't know. I don't think you can fall asleep while you're swimming, so yeah. So they decide to go to the preschool. They stop at a shop so that the guy can buy some extra medication pills. When he can't do that, the girl gets scratched. They go to the hospital, which are completely pointless because when they go, she literally leaves right after because she finds out that they have to put her to sleep. And, well, we all know that if she gets put to sleep, things ain't gonna go good. Now, so then they go to the preschool. They go there, and they discover a room where Freddy would, do the, like, scratching kids' backs and making them paint the wall with blood. It's weird. And then they go to sleep. Like, I've only been talking for 7 minutes, and I'm already, like, at the end. Whereas Freddy slashes, not slashes. Then they both end up in the same dream with Freddy. Freddy nearly kills Nancy's boyfriend, but when Freddy realizes she's there too, he goes to kill her as well. But then he gets into a long-ass fight with her, which leads to this one scene where she falls through, like, into some blood, and she falls through it onto a bed with blood just, like, coming out. Now, it wasn't her blood, it was someone else's blood, which I think was an homage to the guy, I think it was an homage to Nancy's boyfriend's death in the original movie when, like, blood would be coming out from the bed onto the roof. Well, this one's opposite. It's the blood's coming from the roof onto the bed. It's weird. And then Freddy starts saying these weird-ass, creepy-ass things. It's like, ugh. And then the boyfriend gets out some adrenaline. He used them on himself to keep himself awake, and then he uses it on Nancy to wake her up while she's in the middle of the dream. She pulls Freddy into the real world, which is this weird-ass scene where Freddy's he's full attention onto this person, the other person, like, his full attention's onto Nancy. Then Nancy's boyfriend comes up, does some damage, and like, huh? Oh yeah, you. And then he just completely turns his attention on her Nancy's boyfriend. Then Nancy comes up, and then, oh, you. And then he just completely turns his attention to two different ones at two completely different times, and then switches his attention to the boyfriend. And then right as he's about to slash him, the girl grabs a blade of some sort that they had, cuts Freddy's hand off, which was completely unexpected, and then she slits his throat. And that's how he died.
Now why don't you just fucking die?
It hurts, doesn't it? It's because you're in my world now, bitch.
I just want to say, in Freddy vs. Jason, do you know how much damage Jason did to Freddy, and Freddy still wouldn't die? Like, hell, he probably even survived after all. Jason freaking did way worse than what this girl did. This girl just cut his hand off and then slit his throat. No, Jason full-on went all ham on this guy. He ripped Freddy's arm off, shoved his hand into Freddy's stomach, and Freddy's head got cut off. And then Jason stabbed Freddy with his claw, which pretty much got Freddy killed because Jason left Freddy wide open by doing that, and for giving someone the chance to kill Freddy right then, and to cut Freddy's head off. Maybe not head off. Maybe not kill him. He probably would have died either way because he got stabbed. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is Jason did a lot more damage to Freddy than these people, and he died which he didn't, because at the end his mom, Nancy's mom, gets killed by Freddy. Like, he shoves his hand like out through a window or a mirror, just freaking stabs his knives through the lady and pulls her into the mirror. Let me just say, it was definitely handled better than the original, where he just grabs some blow-up puppet and pulls her into the house. I'm just gonna say it. This movie story sucks. Not only does in some ways it does do what the original did, but it tries to be its own thing sometimes too much. The Friday the 13th reboot wasn't exactly a remake. It was literally a reboot. It was meant to be more of its own thing. Like, it's supposed to be like the first three movies, but with its own story and all that. So it's more of a remake reboot type thing. This is a remake, and it doesn't get too much right, and just when it just and it's not enjoyable. Like, I was bored. How I can't remember I've forgotten so much about this freaking movie. Like, it's just I cannot explain how the story just it's not good. Anyway, I mean, none of these stories of these movies are good, but at least the other two were enjoyable. Well, at least Friday the 13th was enjoyable, and Halloween after its first 30 minutes were enjoyable. This movie's just not enjoyable whole damn time. I mean, the only good moments are where either Freddy is killing someone or someone's just getting killed. Because those are the only good moments in the whole day. And I didn't laugh once. Unlike in the originals where Freddy has some pretty dark and twisted humor that kind of works, in this movie it doesn't work at all. Now, let's move on to the characters, besides not including the killers. Rob Zombie's Halloween's characters are weird. Let's just say Michael's dad is a gigantic asshole. Like, he's a bad dad. He abuses, like, he says mean things to his children and wife, and he's just the kind of dad that you look at him and, like, you're thinking, and you're just standing there thinking, oh, I suddenly have an appreciation for my father, who I think can be mean to me sometimes, you know, but so I guess he does kind of get some special treatment later in the movie. Then there's Judith, who is just made out to be a girl who doesn't really care about her brother, but at least, I mean, she doesn't seem like that's like how she acts, so of course her death does seem like she didn't deserve to die. And Bully, which we don't care about because he's just there, bullies Michael a little bit, and then Michael just comes out of nowhere and bangs the guy's head. And let's talk about I was going to say let's talk about Michael, but I need to remember we're talking about the killers, the final section. Now we also have Loomis, and I'll say that I don't know the name of the guy who played Loomis. He actually did a great job as Loomis in this movie. I'm surprised. Like, of course he could. No one could live. Of course he didn't live up to Donald Pleasance. No one can live up to Donald Pleasance's performance. Like, in that movie, he was just the perfect role. You can't beat him, pretty much. Hello? Is anyone coming downstairs? Huh? Is anyone coming downstairs? Oh, they're just moving. Okay. Sorry, they're gonna get louder now. So, yeah. But that guy does good as Donald, and so does the Chief. Yeah, he's pretty good in this movie too. Now, Laurie's friends aren't here much long in the movie. Like, unlike the original, where they got a lot of screen time because that movie had 80% of Laurie and her friends, while this movie has 50%. So Laurie and friends are later, but Laurie is not like how she was in the original at all. Like, unlike in the original where she's just a kind girl who, you know that if she's your friend, she's just like there to hang out with.
I don't think you have enough to do tomorrow.
Totally.
In this movie, she's ditzy and all kinds of happy, and good God, is she obnoxious. She noise, it's just like, oh God, this is not like, she ain't anything like the original Laurie, like, literally. You just look at her.
Guess what, Mom? Mr. Nichols touched me the wrong way.
Oh, Mommy!
Okay, that is so not funny.
You want a screwdriver, Mommy? You want a hammer? Look at this, Mom.
Lori!
I'm sorry.
Stop!
Okay.
Are you eating?
No, I'll get something at school.
Oh my God.
She ain't nope. She ain't nothing like the original. And I'll just say it right now. She 100% did not live up to freaking Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm sorry. No one could have lived up to Jamie Lee Curtis. But this girl doesn't even try to be like the original. she's so different that Jamie Lee Curtis probably couldn't even try to be anything like this girl. That's not now because she's not like the original. That doesn't mean she's bad, because that means the movie's trying to be, its own thing. And unlike in the original where that kid seemed like be like a relationship of like a little boy and an older girl relationship. In this movie, she's portrayed more, rather than being that little boy's babysitter, it's more of the little boy's annoying big sister. And it's so weird. And the little boy is a lot like he was in the original, but the little girl that also gets babysitted. Nope. I will say that some of this movie actually does is it pays some of this movie does is it actually every character from the original is pretty much in this movie. Like I can't think of a single character that wasn't in here, and it adds more. But that doesn't make it better. I don't mean it better. What do you talk about? That's not make this movie doesn't compare. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just trying. Okay, I'm sorry. Shit. The noises are. I think is it a warning? Okay, it's a test. Whew. Sorry, it's I was feeling like the when there's a test or like they're testing the emergency alerts and you just hear that. I heard that and I wanted to make sure it was a test, even though the chances of it not being a test are extremely low. I just wanted to make sure. Now, where were we? So yeah, the characters. Yeah, they're all right. Well, they're all right. They're pretty. Some of the characters do live up to their originals. So now let's talk about. Yeah, that's pretty much all about the Halloween. Let's talk about the Friday the 13th characters, the new one that is. Now, starting off, we have to talk about Clay. Now, Clay is this character, the sympathetic character who's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm cold. I'm gonna put a blanket on me real quick. My legs are cold. That's better. Clay is just a character who's here not looking for trouble. He's just looking for his lost sister. So he's, like I said, putting out missing posters. And then, of course, things don't go so well for them and later. But, yeah. Next thing you know, you have, what's that girl's name? Well, then you have Clay's sister, who isn't in the movie much at all, because even in the pre-title sequence, that long-ass pre-title sequence, she isn't there very long. And then the movie, for the most part, she's underground, and the only times you'll see her are her screaming out, look for help. And even in the longer cut, she still ain't there for that long. Hell, she's not even there for much longer there. She bought like an extra minute or two. I don't know. So yeah, she ain't much of a character in this movie because she doesn't get much screen time, which I don't get why she survived, but that one girlfriend didn't, because, like, she didn't get any. Like, most final girls have to get some screen time, so, you get to know them more. But this girl didn't get any screen time at all, so it's like, why is she the final girl? Anyway, the final, not the final, okay, so, then you have the bully guy, who doesn't get any special treatment for whatever by Jason, but, yeah, he's just your typical. I mean, not like he's always a bully. Sometimes he's a bully, but sometimes he's not. And yeah, then you have some other kids who are just obnoxious. Like literally, one of them, the Asian guy drinks beer from a shoe. I'm just gonna say it. I would rather eat raw meat. Yep, it would be that disgusting that I'd rather eat not like raw chicken or something. Like I'd rather eat raw meat that you can eat rather than that. Raw meat that won't kill me, but still. Now, wait, what was I thinking of? The one, that one girl, so, that's pretty much, well, there is that Clay's girlfriend girl. I don't know if she is Clay's girlfriend, but anyway, she's more of like a kind-hearted girl who, when she feels bad for Clay when she finds out he lost his sister, she literally offers to hang out with him. Not only does she invite him into her house with her friends, but he literally goes out on a walk with her to Camp Crystal Lake. It's just like, damn, girl, you really. I don't know. Someone told me she had a crush on him for some odd reason, but yeah. Of course, Jason foils everything. So these characters ain't great, but now most of these characters are just typical teenagers, but most of them are. Now, unlike the Halloween remake we just talked about, where the characters were like the characters in the original, none of these characters were from the original, except for, of course, Pamela Voorhees and Jason. But this movie is consequential without Jason. So if you when we're talking about the the non-killer characters, then none of them for the original. So in that regard, there's nothing really to say about those. So yeah, it's all right. So yeah, the characters are pretty good in this movie. Well, mostly because of Clay and his girlfriend, because the rest of the characters are kind of forgettable. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, I didn't have much with these characters. Let's talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street characters. God damn it! Thank heavens we do not have to talk about freaking Freddy yet. Oh, but that means I'm gonna have to talk about him later. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010's characters are pretty weird because most characters from the original are here. You got Nancy's boyfriend, and then those two other characters that I can't remember the name of. Now the character from I can't remember the character who was from the original, the one that gets lifted up, tossed around the room, and scratched and her stomach gets open wide up when she dies. That character, she's a lot more screen time in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which is like. She has so much screen time at the beginning, so you assume she's a main character, and then she's just killed off. Like, why are you gonna give her so much screen time at the beginning if you're just gonna kill her off? It makes no sense. Now, and she's not that prominent. She's actually really forgettable. I've forgotten pretty much everything about her. I'm not kidding. I do not remember anything about her in the new movie. Hell, I remember more about her in the original than in this movie. That is amazing. Then you have that one guy who gets sent to jail because he gets convicted with murder, and it's the same. And he's not interesting either in this movie, just like he wasn't in the original. So, and then you got Nancy's boyfriend too. Okay. I hope you all don't hate me for this. This is the one major thing this movie does better than not major, but the one, kind of significant thing this movie does better than the original is this character. Because I feel like in the original he was just, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't anything. He wasn't great. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't very great. In this movie, he was actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, but the original wasn't very interesting in the first place, so yeah, this one, at least he had more to him. But then there's Nancy, and let me tell you, no one could live up to Nancy's original actress, but this actress does not. And she acts nothing like the original Nancy. And the thing is, these people aren't teenagers. I do not think that these looked like adults. Like, I'm pretty sure in the original, these, like, freshmen, sophomore, maybe juniors. These kids look like they're either really late seniors or in college. Like, they were not. And Nancy acted nothing like she was in the original. And she was not good in this movie. Let me tell you, she was not good. And then the guy who gets killed at the beginning, he's just killed off. Doesn't have anything to him other than the fact that he hasn't slept in a few days. So yeah, that's all I have for the Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street characters, right? Moving on, let's talk. Wait, what are we talking about next? Oh, let's talk about the kills. The best parts of horror movies, pretty much. Starting off with the Halloween kills. That sounds a lot like the new movie, the Halloween Kills. And the new movie's literally called Halloween Kills. Hilarious. So the what is it? The kills from this movie. This is the one thing that this movie does better than the original is the kills. Let me tell you, they are a lot more graphic and a lot more, and there's a lot more of them than the original. Unlike the original where there's like oh my god, there wasn't many. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that it? Was it? No, that couldn't have just been 4. Oh yeah, 5. So there were 5 deaths in the original. This movie had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is just scratching the top. I'm pretty sure there were like way more deaths than this. 9, 10 already. This movie has bottom line. This movie has pretty much well over double the amount of deaths than in the original, and they are a lot more graphic. Unlike in the original, where when Judith died, it was just Michael stabbing her. Just been like. Here, he robs Judith kind of creepily, like a little pervert. And then Judith is asking him what he's doing. Like he's wearing the mask, asking him what he's doing, and when he doesn't, and he's not answering, she like slaps him twice, trying to get him to. Well, she slaps him once, keeps on telling him to tell her what he's doing, slaps him again, telling him to tell her what he's doing, and then he just picks up a pocket from the back of him, stabs her, and just stabs her once, just freaking. Takes a knife out of his pocket, stab her once. Just simple as that. Well, she doesn't die. The look in her eyes, she just looks portrayed like, I thought you were my brother. Oh, I cannot do a girl.
What the fuck? Michael! Answer!
So then Michael gives her like a 10-second head start to leave. Like you can literally see her, there's literally her trying to walk away from Michael, and the Halloween theme plays. And I just want to say it because there's no music, we're not including music. I will say that the Halloween theme is used at inappropriate times in this movie. Anyway, so yeah, she's walking away. You can literally see her dripping blood all the way down to her feet, which doesn't make sense because she's got stabbed once and she's bleeding all over her body. Like, what was there an original cut where Michael was just like full on slicing her? And I don't know. Not to mention, I think if you get stabbed in the stomach, it would hurt like hell and it would really suck. But I don't know if you'd be like unable to move. I think you could kind of be able to, at least speed walk if you had that kind of pain. Anyway, so yeah, she gets stabbed, and then Michael stabs her more times. And they claim that he stabs her 17 times, which when I saw it, he only stabbed her 7. He stabbed her that one time, and then stabbed her an extra 6 times. And it's like, nope. I really do not think that was 17 times. And she's not the first kill in this movie, unlike in the original. The first kill is actually on a bully, where Michael goes into the woods, takes a freaking log, he just comes out of nowhere, smacks the bully, smashes the bully's head, and then just like, bruh, 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 bruh. And the bully's just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'll do whatever you want, just please, don't kill me. And then the freaking kid, and the Michael don't give a care, he say, and then the guy dies, just right then and there. And then there was another death that was very similar, where he takes a baseball bat and kills Judith's boyfriend. Like I said before, he slits his father's throat. The death where he kills the not the nurse, the lunch lady is just simple. He just stabs her. It's very real, but it's a very dramatic scene. Like, they just playing the alarms. You can see Michael's mom just screaming, and then she kills herself, which I don't know why. And then some of the deaths from the original weren't handled. I didn't even remember them that much. I don't really remember the scenes where the characters, where Laurie's friends get killed. And I do for the original, and I haven't seen the first, and I haven't seen the first movie I haven't seen the first movie in like 2 weeks. So it's kind of like, damn, the kills maybe aren't as memorable as I thought they were. So they might have been handled a little bit better in this movie because they're more gory and a lot scarier. But other than that, they were like. Pfft. Now, I heard that there was a rape scene in the movie, but I think that was cut out because when I saw the movie, I didn't see any of that. Now, oh yeah, and also the scene where Judith gets killed, she's not naked, so I guess they did that because when she got killed in the original, she was naked, but here she's like got more screen time of her getting killed, and they made it more dramatic for no reason. Actually, I don't think this movie has any nudity. Like, I'm trying to think back of any time. I didn't have to look away once, now that I think about it. So if anything, the original is more R-rated. That's so weird. Sorry, gotta stretch out my legs. Sorry, just can't fall asleep. I swear to God, if I fell asleep in the middle of recording, that would be hilarious. I mean, it is like 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about the kills is, yeah, just like that. Also, there was this one kill where a guy, I think there actually might be 11 because I don't know if I counted this one, where some guy tries to stab Michael. He's like at the, oh no, actually, wait, oh God, I forgot about like 14 kills now that I think about it, because I forgot about some security guards who get killed at the beginning. Maybe even 15 kills in the movie, so that'd be like 3 times. But a guy gets a knife out to try and stab Michael because he's knocking at his door, and then Michael just slams his hand on a freaking bathroom stall. The guy punches Michael, and then Michael just finishes off with a stab. So, yeah, the kills are alright. The kills are pretty good in this movie. Let's talk about Friday the 13th. The 2009 one. Now, the kills in this movie are, like, they're not spectacular. Like, unlike in the first two Friday, like, unlike the first Friday and the first Halloween, where if you compare the two movies, you'll always admit that even though Halloween is a better movie, that Friday the 13th had better kills. This might be an opposite thing, because the kills in this movie, while they're creative, and probably a lot more creative than the ones in Halloween, aren't as brutal. You know, I'm gonna have to think about. When I'm done thinking about the kills, then I'll decide if it was handled better or not than Halloween. Now, kill number 1, Jason just slashes someone with his machete. Kill number 2 is he hangs. I think it's the one where he hangs the girl from he hangs the girl from the tree, like just full on hangs her on the tree while she's in a sleeping bag, and she's just burning there, screaming her head off, burning, and then she falls out dead. And the guy with the bear trap, he doesn't die from the bear trap. He dies when later on, Jason slashes his head with a machete. And another guy was killed because he got stabbed multiple times when Jason was like stabbing upwards from underneath the floor. The guy got stabbed multiple times and pulled underneath, which he was inevitably killed. And for some other kills, another kill was he just stabbed some farm guy for whatever reason. That's how he got his hockey mask. I'm getting tired. I really need to finish this damn thing. Stabs the guy, multiple times. I stabs him a few times, and then puts the mask on. He. Let's see. Well, I'm really trying to think of the kills, but they're not as memorable in this movie. Then some other guy who tries to offer Jason, I think he just gets killed by stuff. Most of these are kind of simple, and then he shoots someone with a bow. I guess it's kind of cool. Stabs a girl in the head from the top of the dock. Like I said, takes the knife, or the machete, shoves it down into the dock into a girl's head. Shot a guy with an arrow. I think I already said that. And yeah, he threw an axe at a guy and then shoved it through him and out. He strangles a girl, literally, like he full on just lifts her up, and you expect him to throw her. Well, he does throw her out, but he doesn't throw her out until like later on. But man, this is so easy to remember. Well, and then the bully just gets killed. Like, well, I don't exactly remember. Like, I think he just gets a simple I think he just gets a simple machete stab. I don't know. Not Dean. And then Clay's girlfriend, her death isn't anything special. I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, the effects are nice, or the effects are pretty well done, with Jason shoving his machete from the back of her neck out. But so yeah, I guess I was right. So none of the kills are terrible. None of them are bad, but none of them are necessarily great. Like hell, even the fire one, like none of these kills were that creative. And like that's a shame. That's really a shame. So, if anything, the Rob Zombie Halloween one was probably better with kills, which is I mean, I know it's Rob Zombie and his style probably is pretty. He does make some pretty graphic stuff, to the point where Friday the 13th doesn't really challenge that. But yeah, now, yeah, that's all I have for the kills. This movie's kills are alright. They're pretty good. They could be done. They could have been done better. We went to Nightmare on Elm Street again. Now with the kills in this movie, they are more like, what's the word to explain? Like, some of them are pretty similar to the original, like Freddy lifting a girl up, slicing her belly. In fact, I think that might be the only kill in the movie from the original. Like, wait, let me make sure that that's not the case. Oh my god, that's pretty much the case. I'm thinking of all the other times. Okay, leave a comment if you do remember someone else dying from the original and their death was very similar. Because the other characters who did die in the original that die here do not die like they did in the original. Yeah, I'm like literally like I'm not joking. None of them die like they did in the original. That is absolutely. That's insane. Only one death from the original, and that's it. But surely the new deaths are cool, right? Not really. I'm just gonna say there are some kills that are pretty good. Like once again, Nancy's mom, the way Freddy shoves his knife into from the glass into her face and then pulls her, that was pretty well handled. That was pretty well made. And the death where the girl was floating was also pretty well done. But the rest are not very great. These movies kills aren't like hit or miss, so they, I mean, it's not like this movie's kills are hit or miss. Just most of them are miss, really, pretty much. Like, I'm not even joking. One guy gets stabbed from the back, which while the effects were alright, it's nothing special and wasn't like in the original where he got hanged. Which, if you ask me, in the original, it was creepier how he got hanged, just because it really made it more creepy because, you know, he fall and getting hanged by this cloth rather than just getting stabbed from the back. Freddy's death was not good. It just was not good. Not to mention the terrible CG fire was just like, ugh. I guess it does for Freddy got a guy to stab him. Okay, so I guess that was alright. So I guess the kills in this movie are hit or miss. But yeah, for the most part, they are kind of forgettable. So some of them are forgettable. So I guess movies' kills are just decent. They're not good, but they're not bad, but they're not good either. So for the most part, if you total out all the kills, because it does have one great kill, but then there's just so much bullshit. There's so much of the bullshit that it just can't be. The whole movie can't have great. So yeah, it's decent. The kills in this movie were decent. I kid you not. I could literally fall asleep right now. I don't want to fall asleep while recording. Let's talk about what else were we talking about? What else were we talking about? No. The next category is, oh yeah, the movies as they are remakes. I'm sorry that I'm pausing so much. I'm just really tired right now. I know. I need to get some sleep. It's not like I'm having a nightmare or nothing. Anyway, moving on. So, let's talk about Halloween 2007 as a remake. You know what? I'm just holding down. So as a remake, this movie as a remake, it's I literally cannot keep my eyes open on all this brightness. It's so bright in here. Yeah, this movie's as a remake. It's, I swear to God, guys, I'm sorry, I might have to end up recording tomorrow because I shit you not, I'm so tired right now because I was up all day today and it's just like, ugh, God. As a remake, this movie's pretty. It adds it adds a whole 30 minutes of shit that we didn't really care about to the movie, and it explains Michael Myers' backstory. Like, it turned what was originally like a few minutes, like 4 minutes, into half an hour, which it's like, really? And the thing about the original was, one thing that made Michael Myers scary was you didn't know his motivations. You didn't know why he was evil. You just knew that he was evil, and that was all you needed to know. And that's why he was scary, because it just felt like he was just pure evil. This movie gives him a motivation, and at that, a pretty dumbass motivation. So it's not. So this movie also, but once we get to the half where it is pretty much the original, there is some things like it actually pays homage to the first movie's homage to the thing in the, like, just like from the original movie. They literally show the kids watching. They literally have scenes where people are watching The Thing from Another World, or known as The Thing, even though the full name is The Thing from Another World. It's actually interesting the way this movie just also shows scenes of people watching it. So at least they showed that Rob Zombie really kind of like did want this to feel like a remake of Halloween, just not just completely his own thing. Yeah, the movie is a remake. It's pretty good. Although there are some, like, once it begins the same thing, it is pretty repetitive, and once again, Laurie isn't much like she was in the original, but yeah, as a remake, it's pretty good, because there are some things, at least, and it also tries to be its own thing in some ways. But, big question, so yeah, it's pretty good as a remake, and it's a movie. But would I say it's so, you might be thinking, I actually think it's better than the original. Nope. Give me a... Come on, if you prefer this movie, if you prefer Rob Zombie's Halloween over the first Halloween, what the heck's wrong with you? Like, you're comparing a classic with, I don't even know. You know, let's just talk about how Friday the 13th. Oh, this is not gonna be good. So yeah, this movie isn't a remake. It's just a reboot. It's not a remake in any way, because it's its own thing, which I guess is good, because at least it's not like these two where it's trying so hard to be the original. So you know what? I'm gonna just pass on this one. As a remake, at least it has more with Jason putting on his mask, and it does show Pamela getting her head cut off. So yeah, I guess the movie. So yeah, the movie's alright in that regard, I guess. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to as a remake, it's not even a remake in the first place, so it shouldn't really even count in this category. So let's move on Let's move on to Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, right off the bat, the movie really does try really hard to be like the original. Like very similar shots, it's very similar things, but it's not trying to be completely like its original. The problem with that is it does a lot of shoot that it really doesn't need to do. Like, a lot of the kills aren't like the originals. Sorry. Like any death, like at least with Halloween, sure it had a lot of new deaths. Any deaths that were in the original were similar to the ones in the original, like Judith getting stabbed multiple times, or that one girl getting choked, like that one girl getting choked to death. I think that's there, and the guy getting stabbed up against a wall. All those are there. They're similar to their originals. But in this movie, like I said before, one kill is similar to the original movie. One kill that was from the original that's in this movie is the same. It's nonsense. The thing is that not the guy. God, I'm so tired. The guy. You know what? I'm just gonna skip this altogether, because so as a remake, it's pretty good, because at least it adds some stuff, even if it has a backstory. Wait. Oh shoot! I was just thinking of the Halloween. No, sorry, I was just thinking of the Halloween. My head is just all over the place. And the Nightmare on Elm Street, nope. This movie, the Nightmare on Elm Street is bad. Nope, it sucks. It's not as good as a remake. Okay, it just does not do anything well. All right, so it's not good as it's not very good as a remake, because when I watch it, it barely feels like I'm watching the original. Hell, even some scenes that it did copy were done pretty differently, to the point where if you watch this movie and you replace Freddy Krueger with a different psychopath, then you could mistake this movie for not being a Nightmare on Elm Street, and also you have to change their names, and then boom, just change the character and the character's motivation, and then change the name of the main characters, and boom, you have a movie that literally isn't a Nightmare on Elm Street. So yeah, let's just talk about the killers, and then we'll just go into our final verdict. Starting off with our characters, we have Michael Myers, and let me just say, Rob Zombie's version of Michael Myers is a lot more brutal than the original. Unlike the original, where he was more like a silent, strong ninja, this guy he's like a brutal ass big boy. It's like his deaths are so over he's just so so much more so much more of a big guy, a big jock killer who just uses his strength to kill. And let me just say that as as like when we're talking like that, in that regard, the guy, but you can tell it's Michael Myers. He has a lot of things like his head tilt, the way he walks slowly. It's all there, so you do know that it's Michael Myers, even if there is some stuff tipping you off. Though I will admit that a lot of the movie has, you can see his eyes through his holes, and I don't know if that's a good idea, because in the original they were two black holes. In this movie they're not. They're not. Yeah, so yeah, but there's never really much to Michael Myers, and the actor does pretty good as trying to portray Michael Myers' body language and the way he does things. So yeah, this Michael isn't bad. You can tell that it's Michael Myers. And unlike the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, yeah, this is definitely Halloween. So yeah, Michael Myers in this movie is pretty good. Let's talk about Jason. Jason in 2009 version is actually interesting because he's a lot more clever than the original Jasons. Unlike the original Jasons, were just they relied on their brute strength or sometimes ranged weapons to kill. This Jason does things like he'll set up traps. Like he literally set up a bear trap for someone to fall in, hangs someone over a fire, threw an axe, and all kinds of cool creepy ass stuff. You could argue that this Jason's a lot more clever, a lot more smarter than the original Jasons. Like if he actually had time to learn more stuff than the originals. Now, if there's anything I could criticize about this Jason is, I don't really know. I mean, there's not really much to Jason.
What the That shit ain't fucking right, dude. What the fuck?
And this one most of the time he walks like in the original, but in this movie he actually sometimes will run. So yeah. Yeah, and his design, kind of like the Michael Myers design in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Its design, you can tell it's Jason even though there are some flaws. Yeah, it's his design is pretty good. Yeah, let's talk about Freddy. Freddy in the movie is odd, because even though you can tell it's Freddy in the sense, well, not really. I mean, even though he has some Freddy aspects, like the twisted humor and his creepy and his looks, it's just the problem is his rest. His looks aren't that Freddy Krueger like, because he has like a few red spots here and there. Like unlike the original Freddy Krueger, where it was basically a bunch of red like things going down all the way down to his like just melting, like literally it looked like his face was like where it just was a really creepy design, which is why it worked. This Freddy Krueger's design is just like, no, not really. And the actor that plays him, good God, it's not good.
Please, God.
This is God. I don't know, Jesse. You think you could turn back time? Answer me! No. Do you think you can bring the dead back to life? No. No! No! I didn't fucking think so.
No! No! No!
Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet. Little Nancy, now that you got me, what game do you want to play next?
Fuck you.
Ooh, sounds like fun. It's a little fast for me. How about we hang first?
No, it's not real.
It's real. I'm real.
Like, my dad could tell that it wasn't Freddy. Hell, I could tell it wasn't the real Freddy. And my dad could tell it wasn't the real Freddy as soon as he started talking. and appeared on screen. Because once that happened, it was pretty much inevitable that this Freddy was not the original. And is this even a good version of Freddy? Not really, because he's kind of creepy. And his backstory is, like, not as... The way they explain his backstory is, like, they show it. And normally in movies, you don't want to show their backstory. You just want to tell it. And if you don't tell it, you just want to tell it. At least don't show it, because, like, talking about, like, explaining the backstory and all of that is a lot more, in some ways, is more creepy than showing it. So why show it? You know, once I'm done with this video, I'm just gonna go up. I just gotta go somewhere to go to bed. I just gotta go to bed. The movie. I mean, Jason. Jason. To be honest, Jason. Freddy. His actor. Just the problem with his actor was he didn't have the right voice tone. Unlike where he laughed and had creepy, like scary voice. This voice is just a weird voice. That's all there was to it. His personality wasn't very like the original, other than his humor. So, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to our final verdict. Sorry, my dad keeps on yelling at at his friend's name up there. I don't know why, but now with the final verdict. So, let's rank these movies from worst to best. Easily coming in at worst is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Oh, good God, this movie just has so much problems. Like, it's boring. Most of the characters, like, aren't very good. Even the character that is better than the original isn't that much better, because he still isn't very interesting. And freaking Freddy is like it's not Freddy Krueger. If you could just take away most of the things about Freddy Krueger if you just take away his looks and you just replace his looks with someone else, it's not Freddy in any way. So, and the story's weird. The only thing good the movie does is its kills, but even then, it only does it decently. So, yeah. Now, going in second place, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween. This is, in my opinion, pretty underrated. I think it's decently it's pretty enjoyable. Besides its first 30 minutes, I think the kills are all pretty well done. I think this has the best kills of all these three. Michael Myers is pretty well portrayed in this movie, and yeah, just overall, it's a pretty good movie. Now, coming out at first place for me easily is the Friday the 13th remake. It's just pretty much everything. It's pretty much most things from I talked about earlier that this movie does the best. It's the most enjoyable. It has the better comparisons with It has the better comparisons with Jason. I mean, well, Jason is probably the best portrayal in all of these three movies, because the Freddy one sucks. The Michael Myers is pretty much the same, just some differences, like less. He actually may be a little bit not as good as he was in the original, even if he does get more screen time. This Jason's more clever than the original. He maps his way. When he's on screen, unlike in some of the originals, when this guy is here, you know that like this guy ain't playing around and that he wants these people dead. Now, yeah. Now let's talk about which ones I think are better than the original. Just like I said, Rob Zombie Halloween, nope. No chance. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you think that there is any hope, any tiny chance that I would like this movie more than the original? Well, if you think I like this movie more than the original, the answer is yak. No, no. That's horrible. That's no. Better than no, no, not a chance. What about Friday the 13th? Well, this is kind of a remake of the first three. I will admit that this is better than the original, so I guess it's the only one of these three that's better than the original. I do think it's probably tied with 2, but I don't like it as much as 3 in my opinion, so yeah. So yeah, that was my comparison of all of the Friday the 13th remake, Halloween remake, and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And also, once again, and yeah, so I didn't include Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 because that felt more like its own sequel rather than a remake of. It wasn't a remake. It was its own sequel, and it was its own. It wasn't a remake of the original sequel. So. And I didn't include other remakes like the Psycho remake or the Shining remake. Good God, the Psycho remake and the Shining remake. I didn't include those two movies like those two because they would have had to have came out around the same time as these ones. And these movies came out from like 2007 to 2010, and I couldn't think of any other remakes at that time. So yeah. But if you do want to know my opinion on the Psycho remake and and Stephen King's The Shining miniseries.
Thirsty?
Hope you all enjoyed. Tell me if you agree or disagree. And I'll see you later. Bye bye. I'm sorry, I gotta go to bed. I'm so tired.